Marriage is a big thing for most people, especially men. They dream of having that pure love they can share with one person and live happily ever after. But in today's time, is it still the same as ever before? Is there any potential to gain a love-filled, calm, and joyful life after marriage? Unfortunately, for most, it's a shaky bridge to walk on. If you wish to live a life of true freedom, then there's 3 rules you must adapt. No marriage, no long-term relationships, and no cohabitation. These things only lock you down, and if realize early on that you're not with it, don't get yourself trapped. Now, marriages weren't so controversial in the past. It's only nowadays that they've become such a mess, and the main reason for it may be the addition of phones. There are phones in every relationship, which subconsciously becomes the source of a lot of conflicts between the two. What we have as a result is a group of people who think that they're the best ever, that they deserve a lot more. They can be in a relationship and showing off how wealthy they are or how attractive they are. They are constantly marketing themselves to the outer world, even when married. Marriage is all about happily locking down. But access to these different platforms keeps on providing you with more options to think about, constantly judging if you've made the right choice. Now, you may be thinking of getting married. Let me ask you these straightforward questions. Do you know exactly what you want from a marriage? Do you know the woman that wants you as much as you want her? What benefits will directly come to your life after getting married? Are you confident you can deal with the turbulence of marriage, which is bound to come your way? If you have answers ready off the top to reason with your marriage, if you really have thought what you're getting into, have observed both sides of the spectrum, and came to a conclusion, then I would say you can go for it. You know what you're getting into, you know where your happiness lies, you've studied the risks, so no other man should stop you from what you want to do. You know best what you may need. But if you've been thinking of getting married, and I asked you those questions, and you didn't have clear-cut answers, then you need to stop yourself and think. A lot of men ruin their lives by being hasty in making the wrong decision. Remember that getting married isn't a spontaneous decision to make. If you don't properly know the person you're marrying, don't know their values, don't know what you get out of it, do you really think it's a good choice for you? Are you marrying for the sake of marrying, or because you actually see a good future? Marrying without knowing and having 100% confidence in your decision is a huge risk. Let me tell you why. Most men underestimate the responsibility they are getting into. Once you marry, you eventually have kids, and that's a 180-degree shift in your life you may not be ready for. The reason we have so many single mothers nowadays is because a lot of these indecisive, weak men, they don't properly think about their actions and what it does for others. They have a baby, and then when they realize they have to lock down and parent them, that they can't be the birds they once were, suddenly it's too much. Paying child support isn't enough for a child, they need a father figure on top of them. If you're not ready to bring life onto the world, if you're not ready to be a father, if you know you'll cause a kid to grow up in a deplorable environment, it's better you have empathy and don't from the get-go. Because trust me, once you have kids, your entire life should and will revolve them. All the money you earn, 80% of it will be going into their nourishment. So many people underestimate the responsibility and either drain themselves out due to not being mentally prepared or give a kid a horrible childhood. Once you've married, your days of reckless living are over. You must be responsible and fulfill your duties on others. You have to become a family man. It's a beautiful thing when done right, but better avoid it if you know you won't live up to the expectation. Instead of parties, you'll have to be attending important events for your child, like their soccer games or stage plays. You need to spend all your free time making sure they grow up as humans with good morals and values. You need to leave off that new shiny car and make sure their needs are fulfilled. Next, in the modern society, when marriages fall apart, it's always the men who suffer the worst. They can have their entire life's work stripped from them, all because their wives got bored. Keep in mind, every girl changes over time. That girl you think you want to marry right now will probably cheat on you in the next decade and walk away leaving you homeless. If you and your girl have been locked in and dating with no cheating, no backstabs for 10, 15 years, then you could feel safe about marriage. But for most people, that's too long of a time. Don't be hasty with this decision. Think rationally, not emotionally, especially when marriage is concerned. Love can only get you by a few months. True complementary characteristics is what makes it last. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like and comment your thoughts on the matter. Make sure you subscribe, as we have a lot more videos coming out which will elevate your status in life. With that said, see you all soon.